Well, I think that some of the audience said it very well. This is a global pandemic, so really thinking about this not just from the moral perspective, but also from the very practical perspective. Nobody is safe and protected until everybody is safe and protected. So we really need to be looking at this in a global context.
But what it comes down to, surely, is taking it either you think, OK, well, we won't worry about vaccinating everybody in the UK in order to enable countries who've got less money, less able to access vaccines, so they can vaccinate as well, which obviously will mean that some people here won't get their vaccines. And that's the reality you have to face.
It's an incredibly tricky issue.
And do you think we should be doing that?
I think that we should be focusing everything we can on scaling up the supply chains and ensuring that there is enough vaccine available as quickly as possible for as many people as possible. It's really the only way out of this pandemic.
I'm sure the companies are. I mean, I'm sure that's exactly what they are doing.
Absolutely.
But those are the decisions that have to be taken ultimately.
Absolutely. And, you know, you've got to weigh up all sorts of different things. It's a really tricky one. What we do know is that at the moment, we're working our way through the most vulnerable groups, and that really is the focus here, to try to reduce the number of deaths and reduce the number of people who need to go into hospital with severe COVID-19. And really, that is sort of the very primary focus. But you're quite right. Across the whole world, there are people who are vulnerable to this, and vaccine politics is clearly going to be a complex issue that we need to work together on, because everybody does need to get eventual access to this vaccine.
Just briefly as well, isn't AstraZeneca providing this vaccine not for profit? And
At the end of the day, it's a difficult question. I think that
I think that's why it's being asked.
Quite. Across the NHS, leaders are so aware of the benefits of children being in school, whether that's their education, whether it's their social development, whether it's their mental health. There are clearly these incredibly compelling arguments. But just to put this conversation in context, I need to just remind everyone that we are still in the midst of a COVID emergency. Right now, there's like 38,000 people in hospital with COVID across the country. And, you know, we're talking about, oh, let's move out of lockdown. But actually, that number of people in hospital right now is double what we had at the peak of the first wave. And when we were at the peak of the first wave, really, we were already feeling like this was a shocking number of people who were needing help. And when you look at this from the NHS perspective, it is incredibly hard delivering that level of care. And not only that, this time they're also trying to deliver all the other care that people need as much as they possibly can, all that non-COVID care. It is huge, and it's happening right now. So when we're thinking about bringing back schools or any other aspect of relaxing the lockdown, we need to remember that context of what's going on right now and think about how to do it as absolutely safely as possible.
Well, talking of that context, let's take another question from Will Drakes.